Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This lesson today that I have for you is now going to be called lesson number 9. And in this lesson, I want to be the quizzer in this. Now, the other lessons have helped you to see some of the most basic notes on the staffs. And in this one, I want to kind of use it as a test to see what you've learned up to this point. Now, if any of these should happen to seem difficult, feel free to go back, take a look at those other lessons, because as a teacher for many years, one thing I have definitely found is that when we start looking at notes at random on the staffs, even though we may know them quite well, it can sometimes take just a couple of seconds to interpret them correctly. Say you're a pianist and you want to look at the notes, and sometimes, even though we know them pretty well, we look at them and we think, oh, what is that? And it can sometimes take, a second or two to actually get them. So I am really one big on drilling the notes into the memory. And again, if any of them seem like if it takes some hesitancy to see what they are, I would say definitely go back, look at those other lessons, because even though I gave only, a couple notes in each of those lessons, once you start getting a lot of notes, it can be a lot more difficult. So again, this lesson is going to be a test. And so I am going to basically put in 5 notes that we have already learned in this staff. We're going to put this one and this one. You'll also notice one side note is that I put the stems upward when they're down lower, and when they're up a little higher, we do it like this. That's just the grammar of how we write notes. Now, let's take a look at these, and hopefully they will immediately seem familiar to you. Let's look at this first one. Okay, do you know what this one is? Okay, once again, it is a G. Okay, let's take a look at the second one and see if you can name it. It is, of course, a D. Then we have here an F. We have up here the B. And finally, we have the C. Now, there again, we have 5 notes here, and it's amazing to think that those 5 notes mathematically could actually be arranged 125 different ways. But it is true. And that, again, is why it can be really hard to pick them out quickly. But there they are. And if you've had any difficulty in naming those very rapidly, I would still suggest go back, take a look at those other lessons. Now, let's do the same for the left-handed clef. Let's go ahead and erase these. And let's put some in here. Okay, we're going to put this one here, this one. All right, let's put this here, and then way up here, we'll put these. Again, the stem direction, very similarly to how we work in the right hand. If they're down low, we put the stems up. And if we're beyond the middle point, the D or above, we typically will put the stems down. All right, let's take a look at these. Now, this one you've learned just in a most recent lesson, in the prior lesson. This, of course, is our A in the first space. Now, this one, let's see if you know how to name this one. And remember the memory device, 2 lines below it, 2 lines above it. It, of course, is the D. This one here, of course, is the note itself, the F, the pointer, because there is the clef, and the clef, as you recall, is the letter F. And then, of course, one of the most common ones we'll see, middle C. And then finally, remember my memory device, the bird on the wire, for B. Again, these memory devices are meant to help you. I know they're funny stories, many of them, but that is a really good way to memorize the notes. And here we have, once again, 5 notes, which could be arranged 125 different ways. And by the way, that's why we can make so many amazing and great melodies in our music study, is because the notes have such potential and such infinite abilities to make this beautiful music. So anyway, there they are. Now, I hope these have been very easy for you. And again, if they've been a little bit difficult, I would encourage you to go back, look at some of those other videos, and then also to see how all of this relates in the terms of the piano. Remember, I did do a series of how to read notes on the piano. Do take a look at those videos as well if you need additional help. Hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and we will be back soon with the other lessons to give you even more note experience. Thank you.